All right, all right, all right. Here we go. We are going to talk about today a movie that I've been a fan of since the first one, a franchise that I've been invested in since the first one, and that is The Conjuring. Last Rites. I've seen it opening night. Great movie. But I want to break down certain things. All right, why I think it's great, why I think it's fine the way it is. All right. So, as a fan of the Conjuring universe, I went into the Conjuring with pretty, I don't want to say high expectations, but I they were up there. And I can honestly say I'm pretty happy how it was delivered. It not only honors the legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren, but it also brings the franchise to like a satisfying and even a little emotional conclusion. Now, I will say with the past films, you were able to kind of jump in and watch these movies. This one, I would probably say you'd have to kind of watch the timeline because it's like the ultimate. I don't say the ultimate ending, but it does a lot of backtrack, a lot of background story. You have to have known who Ed and Lorraine were and what they do and how this whole universe works to really understand what I feel like you'd be lost if you just watched it. You've never seen Conjuring or Nun or Annabelle, nothing. If you've never seen none of those movies, then um it'd be hard to follow. um but from the opening scene, the movie feels like a big mixtape of everything we've loved about the series. The chilling atmosphere, the suspenseful pacing, the grounded humanity of the Warrens. um Patrick Wilson and Vera, they prove why they are the heart and soul of this franchise. And it's true. Like they're iconic. They're like the iconic representation of Ed and Lorraine. And they gave heartfelt performances. You feel the weight of their journey through the supernatural. Um, but what I was really impressed is how Conjuring Last Rites, tied together threads from across the franchise from past films while standing strong on its own. The scares are effective. It has that James Wan tension building, the eerie sound design, the unsettling visuals. But the film leans definitely on an emotional core. It's less about jump scares and more about the feeling of the dread, faith, and resolution. For sure. Like it's not like how the rest of the movies are very bow, 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 jump scares, cheap jump scares even. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. Like I said, you have to watch this one after you've watched the others. Like follow the franchise. Be pretty invested into the storyline of Ed and Lorraine or the Conjuring franchise. As the credits rolled, I felt very satisfied and happy. This wasn't just like another horror sequel. It was a proper farewell to one of my favorite modern horror franchises. I actually really like this franchise. Um, it balanced horror with heart in a way a few films managed to do. But this is definitely more for a Conjuring fan than just a person trying to watch a scary movie. I can definitely say that for sure. For sure, for sure. It definitely is for the Conjuring fans. So with that being said, it's everything a Conjuring fan would want. Terrifying when it needs to be, deeply emotional at its core, and a pretty fitting conclusion to a series that kind of redefined the supernatural horror for the new generations. I liked the new monsters, the new demons. I liked the mirror thing. Um, there was a lot of tension parts. There was parts that didn't lead to any type of jump scare that had a lot of tension, and I love that. I love waiting. Like there was this part, the little girl was watching her confirmation VHS tape, and there was a part where her candle got blown out. So she watched that tape back, frame by frame, and it was creepy because before she blew out the candle, the dad in the video was like, "Here we go." So she kept replaying it, and it's like, "Here we go, here we go, here we go. The music's like building up. You're like, oh shit. And he's saying, here we go. I'm thinking like some crazy shit's gonna happen. And it's a lot of tension. You're just like, okay, here we go. Shit, you know? And then it's like, then it shows the picture that she caught the freeze frame of the demon that snuck in that frame and blew her candle out. And she's like, whoa. And that was still creepy, but it also could have been a cheap jump scare too, you know, or it was like some crazy shit, which still ended up something crazy ended up happening because that's when the axe killer dude, I forgot his name, but he was scary as hell too. That dude was scary as fuck. The old lady that was holding the doll was scary as fuck, which people were making fun of that picture, the CGI from her smile, which it ended up looking way better in the final film, but it people made fun of that, and that shit was still scary. And there was man, there were some great jump scares. I liked the whole Ed and Lorraine were meeting their future son-in-law, and they're trying to, you know, they weren't trying to bring him aboard of the supernatural shit. They were actually trying to retire from it, but their daughter was tied to their final case, you know, and it was intense. It was cool. And they even went down their little memory lane where they were showing, they had like a birthday party for Ed, and they let the family come see the room with all their little vault of treasures and things they collected, and you just seen everything. And then the little girl, not the little girl, but the daughter of them, you get to see her grow, like a lot of her story and her growing up. And I don't want to spoil too much because the movie is still new, but seeing her battle, she battles with supernatural was crazy. She even kind of battles Annabelle in a certain way, which was kind of, that shit was even cool. The way how Annabelle made an appearance was cool. There's a lot of scary parts, and the best part about the trailer doesn't show a lot of the scary parts. So it's a great movie. What would I give The Conjuring out of 10 though? I would give Conjuring The Last Rites 8.5 out of 10. 8.5. Told a great story, great conclusion. There was some worse, definitely some worse movies in this universe. This is probably for sure top 3. I'm gonna do a Conjuring, that whole universe. I'm gonna rate the whole universe for sure, but this is definitely top 3. And it has the scares, but it genuinely, to me, I feel like it tells a cool story. So that's one thing. I've been invested into the story. I like the new monsters, the new demons. I like the story in general. It was interesting. It was fun. It was creepy. I got scared a couple times, scared the shit out of me. I enjoyed it. Is it better than the first one? Hell no. The first one's a classic. I love the first Conjuring. That shit was scary as hell. But this is a great ending to this franchise. So, great work. I hope this movie does really good. I'm Dark Rewind, and we're out.